a replica of the lamps from the time of the early Christians. This is a replica of the ones that you would find in the catacombs in Italy, in Rome. And, we hear about the 10 virgins carrying their lamps and oil. I don't know if it'll stay there or not, but we hope so. We hear of Lady Wisdom in our gospel reading today. We hear of Lady Wisdom in our first reading today. Those wise virgins, why are they wise over the other ones that were foolish? Well, we know they carried extra oil. And there's like, gosh, well, how wise is that? They wouldn't share with the others. But the church fathers speak of this. And it's like that oil that goes in that lamp, it symbolizes wisdom. It symbolizes virtue. And the church fathers even say that it symbolizes the virtue of charity. And you cannot give someone else your own virtue. It is propagated, it is built upon by repeated good actions. So that's why they can't share that with the foolish virgins. The wise virgins have built up this virtue. Their virtue could include charity. Now, when we think of the wisdom of God, we hear about this in the first reading that says those who look for her will find her. Those who get up in the morning and wait for her will encounter her. And it says that prudence leads to wisdom. So prudence being a repeated right actions, right thinking, leads to wisdom. We are in our stewardship month of November. Last month was our Gospel of Life month. This month is our stewardship month. A beautiful beginning to our month with All Saints Day, then All Souls Day, and then right after that we had St. Hubert's feast day, and then there's others that have followed, St. Leo, etc., etc. And it's just been an incredible month. We're talking about stewardship and taking care of the parish. I want to thank you for all that you do, all the successes, and I want to read kind of a list of those. And it's a long list, and there's things on here, things that are not on here. As far as our daycare and preschool, we have extra hours. We have more flexibility. There's a more positive attitude over there. We have better communication among one another with Slack, a special application. Supportive parents, supportive church staff, building relationships with families is growing. The light bulbs are going on for the kids with regard to their faith. We have relationships better with the kids than we've, in previous times. We have new shade structures up. We have more professional look around the place. And we have a new director. Michelle is a phenomenal lady. And the school, we have more flexibility. They're able to adapt and adjust to the needs of the school. Supportive and ready to step in when needed. That's the staff. We collaborate better. We're showing love to the staff and school families. We make our school feel like a home, not just a school, and that's the absolute truth. Faith is our number one objective, and academic excellence is also factored in there. The faculty over there and the co-workers and the volunteers are family, not just co-workers. It's incredible teamwork over there. They have a good sense of humor. They have a great quarterback who is the principal, Mrs. Vick, and a very strong team. They want to do their best and learn more. That's the kids. And consistency and loyalty of staff, because we've had a lot of staff members over there that have been over there for many years. What about the parish? We've reopened the gift shop. We have an increase in parishioner registration. We have an increase in people visiting our chapel. We have implemented a new program called Push Pay. We had our first golf tournament, and it turned out very well. We have maintained standard practices on the staff. You know, in the midst of all these changes, we have this commitment to come together and pray the Angelus every day. We have better collaboration with all three campuses, which is not easy to do when they're all spread out. We have ministries that make people feel welcome, like hospitality. I have somebody that I've known for a while. He moved here from New Orleans, and he comes to our noon mass. And when he tells me about the noon mass, he just beams a smile, you know, as he recollects what he experiences at mass. We have bringing ministry leaders together in this new program called SAME, so we're on the same page. We are increased in serving homeschool families. We have a new Desert Disciple magazine. Flock Note is flourishing. Our staff support is very strong. The youth ministry is doing incredible work. We even have our Father Augustine is on retreat with our accompanying the retreat, and our teens are coming back today. They'll be here for the teen mass from retreat up north. And you know, I wanted to say a few words about what you have said about this parish. So we had our same meeting just in recent weeks, and we talked about suburban accessibility. Does the local suburban community have access to our parish? And they said yes, through a very comprehensive website, through our Father-Son Campout, through our parish feast day, which is held in the parking lot, food truck Friday held in the parking lot. There were signs that we put up during COVID at different houses called "I Love My Church." People loved that. We talked about a culture of prayer, and they said that visitors feel the joy of our parish as we come together and pray. Liturgies like this. We have 24-hour adoration. We have a reliquarium chapel. We have different books in which you can write your personal prayer intentions in different places. We have an environment of prayer at school, which is not, it truly is an environment of prayer. They said that masses are alive. And even yesterday, Father Frankie came, and he was able to use our new elevator to come down and wheel across, and we set him up in a confessional, and he heard confessions. And for him, it was a very joyful occasion because his priestly ministry has been on hold for a number of months, and he finally got to exercise that. The wisdom of the world says that if you give of your finances and so forth, you won't have much left for yourself. But the wisdom of God says you can't outgive the ultimate giver. God is the ultimate giver. As a parish, I think we all want to move forward with our lamps alight and in a spirit of wisdom. And we want to do that in a state of transparency. So we have, as we often do, put together a financial report of our parish, and you can access that on the internet, or there are some in the racks. And we want to be transparent, so you know where your giving is of benefit. Our parish purpose is, we stated it in our we call it a playbook, and it's, we desire to be God's instrument of restoration in the salvation of the world. And our mission statement, we seek to bring all people into a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. And we have these financial goals and other kinds of goals too that we would like to reach. I would like to fully fund our parish endowment fund. I would like to, because of our giving, reduce fees for Life Teen retreats and the men's retreats and the other things that we do here, so these costs won't be so heavy for the participant. I would like to reduce expenses for parishioners for our Catechesis of the Good Shepherd program. I mean, I have friends, priests, pastors that are envious that we have this up and going Catechesis of the Good Shepherd program, but it takes a lot of resources to do that. And some of them are just starting out and they're very excited about adding this to their parish. I would like to cover our portion of the building project that we're doing at the school. We've demoed the hall. We're going to be building a bigger hall with more utility that we can use in that hall and bigger space, multi-level. And we are partnering with Shea Homes, and we have a portion of that we need to cover, and I'd like to do that. We have aging pergolas at the entryways of the church that are, and the roof is in fair shape. We have an aging infrastructure. We're dealing with a water leak right now. We deal with at least one major water leak a year. It seems to happen every year, and one just sprung up on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. I would like to convert the parking lot lights to LED to save us money on electricity. That will take some effort. So what is my ask today for you, right, as we talk about stewardship with regard to finances? I'm asking you to consider $2.50 to $5 for every pay period of an increase in your tithe. Think about that, pray about that, take that home with you. $2.50 to $5 a pay period could be $10 a month. I'm committed to doing that, and I ask you, I invite you, I encourage you to join me. And if you haven't given before, consider a $5 a month donation. And how can you do that? You know, because sometimes we go, oh, I forgot, I didn't write the check, I don't have any cash in my wallet, and we have the envelopes, we can put it in there, but I don't have anything to put in the envelope. You know, I have this debited right from my account every month. It's the first fruits, and it's taken right away, and I don't have to think about it, it's just done. Maybe that is the best way to do it. But we can give in many ways through checks and through the envelopes and through the internet website and so forth. But I encourage you to think about that if you've never given before. You know, everything has been set up and turned on and ready. And it's like, what about all those people that came before us to make sure that would be the case when we got here? You know, this building was built in 1982, and all those still folks here from that time. But they were preparing for you to be here today, you know, all these years later. Lady Wisdom, I believe that we should leave a place better than we found it, and that's a wisdom that comes from my own father. So we want to go forward with our lamps alight with the spirit of wisdom. I have a prayer that we've placed in your pews that I want you to pray with me now as I close. But before I do, grab that card. Before I do, I have a testimony of one of our parishioners, just a short testimony about his tithing story. He said, just for fun, I'm going to tell you a tithing story. When I decided to enter RCIA in 1999 because I started playing bass for the 12:30 Mass at St. Tim's, I became like a child, sometimes asking too many questions of my teacher, but also, as I learned about the faith, I brought home my catechism stories to my wife, who usually said, yes, I know the biblical stories. We'll call this gentleman John Doe. I'm Catholic. Within the next year, I decided to retire from the public school teaching system before I was monetarily able to retire, but we knew that we would find a way to survive. I suggested in budgeting our money that I back off from the tithing we had started. My wife said, what you have been preaching to me all these months about your catechism, what we give to God will be returned to us multiplied. So we did not stop tithing. I was teaching a night class at MCC, and sure enough, the dean came to me to say there was a need to pick up an additional class as an instructor had to be replaced. When I accepted that, I became temporarily a full-time professor, which continued into the following semester as well. I made $10,000 more in salary for that school year than I'd been earning in the Mesa school system. You know what that did for my eventual pension? The state of Arizona averages your last 3 years to determine your value, and that final year of teaching made an impact on the rest of my life. There's much more to my faith walk to tell, but as a monetary steward, I knew you would enjoy this little antidote from my life. So, beautiful story. I'd like to pray this prayer now. Join me, please. O most generous, loving, faithful Father, we lift up to you in complete and utter faith all of our works, our efforts, our merits, and our gifts, trusting that you will multiply them and bless them, that they would nourish us, our families, our neighborhood, our parish community, and especially our parish. Our Sacred Heart of Jesus, pour out your generosity on us, that we will freely and faithfully give what is rightly yours. Holy Spirit, sanctify all our acts of love, that they would be directed by you for your glory. May these efforts bring forth an abundant harvest, that our parish will reap as workers in the vineyard, so that all may come to know your Son, Jesus Christ. Just one more thought. You know, my mother's brother-in-law just died within the last week, and he is married to her sister. And I remember her sister telling us at one time, this is my mom's, that she's the only remaining sibling in my mom's family. My mom is gone, and so is her other sister. But that sister told us that the only time that she heard her parents, my mom's parents, argue ever was when Grandpa, they were very holy Catholics, Grandpa wanted to give more to the church. I hope Grandpa won that argument.